Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on something pretty fundamental for growth.
Absolutely. Whether you're running a business, leading a team, or even just, trying to improve yourself.
Exactly. We're talking about feedback
hmm
and its power. We've got this great article here from Cognitive Market Research.
Yeah, it's called How to Get Feedback from Customers Without Stress, written by Kalyani Raj, published back in November 2024.
And our mission today really is to unpack this for you. We want to dig into it and pull out the key insights.
Right. The goal is to give you practical ways to gather and use feedback effectively, without all the stress that sometimes comes with it. Think of it as a shortcut.
A shortcut. I like that. And, speaking of feedback, here's something that really jumps out. Think about Apple. Huge company.
Massive.
They are all over their Net Promoter Score, their NPS, constantly surveying. But here's the interesting part.
Uh-huh.
Their store managers actually personally follow up with customers who give low scores.
Wow, really? That's direct.
Isn't it? It's not just about collecting a number. They want to know why someone wasn't happy. They engage, figure out the issue, fix it.
And that must turn unhappy customers into loyal ones. Plus, it surely helps their revenue.
No doubt. It shows how seriously they take understanding what people think. And on a related note, there's the CAMS User Satisfaction Survey.
Ah, yes, CAMS, that's the Customer Account Management System survey, used a lot in tech and service industries.
Right. Their spring 2023 survey reported a satisfaction score of 4.22 out of 5. Pretty strong.
Very strong. Both examples really hammer home the value. It's not just getting feedback, it's doing something with it.
Okay, so let's dive in. Why is feedback fundamentally just so important?
Well, at its core, it's about seeing yourself or your product or your service through someone else's eyes. You get that outside view.
The perspective you just can't get internally.
Exactly. The article makes a great point. You might think everything's fine, but your customers, they'll spot things you miss.
Like friction points or things that are confusing.
Precisely. Or even things they absolutely love that you didn't realize were so important. They point out what's broken, but also what's brilliant.
It's like getting a blind spot check done.
Yeah.
And acting on it, well, that's where the magic happens, right?
'Cause that's when you see the real benefits. You make smarter improvements, quality goes up, functionality gets better, the whole experience improves.
So you're constantly tweaking and refining based on what people actually experience, not just what you think they experience.
You got it. And think about customer satisfaction directly. When people feel heard, they're much more likely to stick around.
Makes sense.
By asking for feedback proactively, you're opening a channel. You find out about pain points before they become huge problems. And when you listen and then show you've acted on what you heard, that builds serious trust. Loyalty deepens, satisfaction goes up.
Okay, so we're sold on the why, but the article stresses that just, vaguely asking any feedback isn't the best approach.
Definitely not. It
Yeah.
needs structure.
So how do we make gathering feedback less of a headache and more, well, useful?
It really starts with setting clear objectives right at the beginning. Don't just collect feedback randomly. Be purposeful.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Before you even ask anyone anything, figure out what specifically are you trying to improve? Is it a new product feature, customer support response times, your website's checkout process, or maybe just overall satisfaction?
Got it. It's like saying, I want to run faster versus I want to cut 30 seconds off my mile time. One is way more focused.
Perfect analogy. The article uses customer service as an example. If that's your goal, then your questions, the way you ask, the channels you use, everything should point towards getting insights on customer service.
Right. Tailor the approach to the objective.
And this clarity helps everyone. You get the focused insights you need to make real changes. And the person giving feedback understands why you're asking and how their input fits in.
Okay, objectives are clear. Now, how do we actually get the feedback without stressing everyone out? The article talks about choosing the right channels.
Yes, and this is key because, well, people like to communicate differently. A good strategy offers options.
Makes sense. What options does it suggest?
Well, first up, surveys. Obvious one, maybe. Using tools like SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, Typeform. They're great for quantitative stuff, getting numbers you can analyze.
But numbers aren't everything.
Exactly. So you must include open-ended questions, too. That's where you get the rich qualitative stuff, the why behind the numbers.
Right, the multiple choice gives you the what, but that comment box gives you the why. What else?
Email. You can send personalized requests after someone buys something or talks to support, but keep them short.
Keep it brief, focused. Yeah,
Definitely respect their time. Then their social media, people are often already talking there, good and bad.
True. You can just jump into the conversation.
You can, or you can actively ask questions, run polls, invite reviews right there on your profiles.
Social media feels like it could be a bit of a wild card sometimes, though.
Mm.
Very direct, maybe not always filtered.
That's a fair point. You absolutely need a plan for how you monitor it and how you respond. It requires careful handling.
What other channels?
The article also mentions in-app or website feedback tools. Think Hotjar or Qualaroo. These are neat because people can give feedback right then and there while they're using your site or app. Less disruptive.
So it captures the feedback in context. That's useful.
Very. And finally, for really deep dives, especially with maybe high-value customers or tricky situations, there's always phone calls or video chats.
But that takes more time, surely.
It does. Much more time-intensive for both sides, as the article points out, so you use it selectively.
So lots of options. It's about picking what fits your goal and what works for the person you're asking. Now, the article does something interesting. It talks about self-feedback.
Yes. This is a really powerful section. We focus so much on external feedback, but looking inward is just as vital. The article gives 7 specific questions to ask yourself.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give us one.
All right, the first one is, what would it take for you to be truly impressed with my performance? It pushes you beyond just good enough.
Ooh, that's a high bar. Challenging. What's another?
How about this direct one? Is there one area where you feel I should make improvements? Just invites that specific constructive point.
Simple, but could be very effective.
Then there's, if you were in my shoes, how would you have approached this situation differently? That forces you to see other perspectives.
Yeah, gets you out of your own head, your own usual way of doing things. What else is on the list?
There's also asking yourself, essentially, how did I actually handle that conversation, that presentation, that task? A critical look back.
A sort of performance review for yourself.
Kind of, and building on that, what steps can I take to handle this better next time focuses on future action.
Actionable steps. Good.
And it's not all negative. There's also, what's one thing I can always be relied upon to deliver or do well? Gotta know your strengths, too.
Absolutely. Acknowledge the positives.
And the last one, maybe the toughest. Is there something I might not be the best person for? Or something you wouldn't rely on me to handle?
Wow. That requires some real honesty. Assessing your limits.
Exactly. It's about knowing where you might need help or where someone else might be better suited.
Those are incredibly powerful questions, actually, not just for work. Okay, so let's say we've gathered feedback, external, internal, whatever. We have the info. Now what? The article says getting it is just step 1.
Absolutely right. Collecting it is easy, almost. Acting on it is where the value is unlocked. The article breaks down what to do next.
Okay, first step.
Acknowledge and appreciate. Simple, but crucial. Thank the person. Whether the feedback was glowing or critical, just saying thanks shows you value their input.
Builds trust, shows you're listening.
Precisely. And if you're a business, acknowledging feedback publicly, that can really boost loyalty. Shows you're committed.
Okay, acknowledged. What's next?
Analyze and categorize. Don't just look at comments in isolation. Look for themes, patterns, what keeps coming up.
Group similar feedback together.
Yeah, maybe categorize by product area or service issue or maybe website usability. This helps you see the bigger picture and prioritize where you need to focus first.
Makes sense. You can't fix everything at once. You need to find the biggest levers.
Exactly right. Once you know what the main issues are, you need to dig deeper. Investigate the root cause.
Don't just fix the symptom, find the disease.
You got it. If people find a feature confusing, why is it confusing? Is it bad design? Poor instructions? Are you solving the wrong problem for them? You need to ask why a few times.
Like with employee feedback too, right? Someone's struggling, is it training, resources, unclear goals?
All of the above. You have to get to the real underlying issue to fix it properly.
Okay, root cause identified. Then what?
Then, importantly, take responsibility. If the feedback points out a mistake or a shortcoming, own it. Whether you're an individual or a huge company.
That builds credibility, even if you messed up.
Absolutely. Owning mistakes, being transparent about how you're fixing things, that builds trust. It can even turn a negative situation into a positive one because you showed you listened and cared enough to fix it.
Shows you're willing to learn and adapt. That's huge. Okay, but the article also adds a note of caution, right? Feedback isn't a silver bullet. It has limits.
That's a really important balance to strike. Feedback is great, but yeah, it's not perfect.
Right.
One big limitation, bias and subjectivity.
People's own opinions and feelings getting in the way.
Exactly. Personal views, emotions, maybe one really bad experience that isn't typical. It can all color the feedback, so one comment might not reflect the overall reality.
So again, look for those patterns. Don't just react to one really loud voice.
Precisely. Another potential issue is just feedback overload.
Too much coming in.
Yeah. Emails, surveys, social media comments, reviews, it can all pile up. Trying to process and act on everything, it can be genuinely overwhelming. You can end up paralyzed.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah, I can see that.
And related to that is feedback fatigue.
You mean people get tired of being asked?
Yes, especially if they give feedback time and time again and they don't see any changes happening. They start thinking, why bother? Engagement drops off.
You have to close the loop somehow. Show that it mattered.
You absolutely do. People need to feel their effort was worthwhile and led to something tangible. Otherwise, they'll just tune out next time you ask.
Okay, so finding that balance is key. Don't ask constantly for everything, but when you do ask, make sure you act on it and, ideally, let people know.
That's the sweet spot.
Right. So, wrapping this up, feedback is clearly vital for businesses, for teams, for us as individuals trying to get better.
Yeah.
But it's not passive.
Not at all. It needs a plan. Clear goals, the right channels for your audience,
Right.
thoughtful analysis, and crucially, a real commitment to act on what you learn.
And remembering those potential pitfalls like bias, overload, and making sure people don't get tired of giving it.
Exactly. Hopefully, pulling these insights from the article gives you, the listener, a solid framework, a way to approach feedback that feels more manageable, more productive, and less stressful.
Definitely. Okay, final thought for everyone listening. Think about those feedback channels we discussed. Surveys, email, social media, those in-app tools, even just talking to people. Is there one channel you think you might be underusing right now, personally or professionally? Or maybe reflect on a time when feedback, good or bad, really changed things for you. What was the big takeaway from that?
Good questions to ponder. It's all part of that ongoing cycle, isn't it? Learn, adapt, improve.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.